Here's a quick tour, anybody's interested. So this is our newer greenhouse we built. Got some underwater submergent plants growing in here, some mini cattails I got from Rick. I have just a few plants still in here, some starts that I did over the winter. I enclosed this in an inner greenhouse inside an outer greenhouse so that I can keep it even warmer in the winter, but it's time to take it down. In our garden I have a bunch of the native perennial wildflowers in the back there that just are hardening off in the sun and getting water from sprinklers. We've got in our garden we have a lot of milkweeds growing for the butterflies. We do like to leave some of them, but we don't typically leave that many. I'm going to take you around the path that we have made around back. Let's see what I got growing here. Some yellow monkey flowers like up at the cabin, some pink primrose, some buckets of potatoes. Those are for us though. So built this path. This all used to be water up to the edge here. I made this little thing so that I can have more plants out here that are growing, and I can turn this and I can access any side of that. And I'm pulling plants out. Got a few cattails growing in a few different places, being well protected. This is where we have our natural swimming pool. I actually did put a liner down here. We vacuum it out occasionally. We got it looking really nice, but I have a staircase here that we built. We put this little bench here that's been kind of fun, because then we can have people sitting there and sitting there. And then I have more trays here, but this is, hopefully it's kind of disguised, because this is our first little river area. We have some pink primrose and some checker blooms, and the geese have gotten in here. I've been less successful with this one. The geese have actually gotten in here quite a few times. They mowed down some of these sedges. They really like to eat the yellow monkey flowers, so they come in here and they go after them first. But there's a few plants that they leave. They don't seem to eat the primrose. They just like to trample it down. This is some other stuff that'll be blooming later on. It's kind of fun coming out here because every day there's something a little bit different to see that's blooming. We put this little path in here so we have our defined space. This is our space, this is nature's space. I had tons of monkey flowers. They go for 100 monkey flowers, and the geese just kind of ate them all. We put a little gate in here. We have some other drier native wildflowers that I'm growing in different spots. Created this recently. Got a little path here. This is it's blooming over at Rick's house. It's not over at mine, but I was looking for years for this plant. I couldn't find it anywhere. It's got a really pretty pink flower on it, but I couldn't find it. Come to find it was growing on Rick's shore. So he let me have some. I put this in here. It's just another little spot for the frogs, hopefully. Frogs and toads. This is an enclosure that I was going to put some more floating islands in here, but the underwater submergent plants started doing so well in here, I just decided to dedicate it to those. So this is something they're growing in Utah Lake and trying to reestablish. It cleans the water, it oxygenates the water, and gives place for fish to spawn. This is a willow that started growing on its own. I left it and they're really aggressive, but surprisingly enough, it's been really easy to keep back, to keep track of, because whenever it starts sending up a runner, I just pull it out. Actually, I go plant it so that I can grow it somewhere else, but that's a native there. And then I've got some different kinds of rushes here. This is an alkali rush. So I have this enclosure, that one, that we call that 1, 2, 3, and this one's 4. And got some different lily pads growing in there. There's 2 different natives here in Utah. Yeah, and every day we come out here and there's just something else blooming. This is a yerba mansa. That's actually its common name. Its actual name is Anemopsis californica, but pink primrose. This is the first year that I've been so successful with these yellow monkey flowers in here. I just decided instead of planting where I wanted them, I just planted them everywhere. And then wherever they flourished, they flourished. And that seemed to have been the key. The other thing that really helped is just bunching a ton of them together rather than just putting one here, one there. I don't know if you can tell, but Natalie bought me some fake ones to put in there to make it look a little better on the times when we don't have others growing. So can you tell which ones are real? That's a real one in there. There's our coyote. He worked for about the first month. This is enclosure number 2. We've got quite a few more sedges in here. Some of this is already spent, bloomed earlier. So those monkey flowers, they'll reach up if they need to. Down here I have this American Speedwell. It's really tiny, but it's really pretty. They like to grow right there along the water. Got some other stuff that'll be blooming later. Maybe I could do another video. There's some flowers out here that have a 6-inch bloom growing on floating islands. Meanwhile, we can enjoy these Rocky Mountain bee plants. Pink Lady's Primrose, Yerba Mansa, had some Heal All earlier, enclosure 3. It might look like weeds, but I've been really particular about what I let grow in here. I got other stuff growing. And this is more of a work in progress than the rest of it, so I guess a little more work to do over there. And that's it. That's what we got growing.